We're not just talking about philosophy today. We're talking about an idea so powerful, it shaped how we see reality itself for over 2,000 years. An idea that wasn't born in some quiet classroom, but in pure, raw trauma. Seriously, what if everything you trust, everything you can see and touch, is a lie? Just a carefully built illusion meant to keep you from seeing what's really going on. Now, this isn't science fiction. This is the world as Plato saw it. And to really get his world, you first have to understand the day his own world completely shattered. That man was Socrates, a philosopher famous for just wandering around the city, questioning, well, everyone and everything. He was this incredible intellectual force, and his most loyal student was a young man named Plato. So, these were the official charges. But let's be real, that was just a pretext. Socrates' real crime was making powerful people look like fools. He dismantled their authority by asking one simple question: why? And this was his defense. At his own trial, literally facing death, Socrates refused to back down. He wouldn't apologize for who he was. He basically said that a life without questioning, without that constant search for truth, isn't a life at all. And the jury, the very heart of Athenian democracy, found him guilty. The sentence was death by a cup of poison. Plato saw the entire system he was raised to believe in, democracy, justice, reason, it all came together to murder the best man he ever knew, and that one single event, it poisoned everything for him. Because if the world could be so wrong, so fundamentally unjust, then maybe the world itself was the deception. This was the terrifying conclusion Plato came to. He thought, if human justice could be a complete lie, then what about human beauty or truth? He decided that this entire world that we perceive with our senses, a world that would allow for something so wrong, it just couldn't be the real one. It had to be a broken copy. And out of that shattered worldview, he built this idea almost like a shield. He called it the theory of forms. The idea is this: our world is just a flickering, distorted shadow of a perfect, eternal reality. A world of pure ideas or forms that exist completely outside of our space and time. So, think of it this way. Every single chair you've ever seen is just a shoddy copy of the perfect form of chair. Every act of courage you witness is a pale imitation of the form of courage. And that Athenian court that killed Socrates, just a broken, twisted reflection of the perfect form of justice. One world is a lie, the other is the truth. Plato argued that we are all born inside this lie. We're born inside a prison we don't even know exists. Now, he didn't present this as some kind of thought experiment. No, he described it as our actual reality. It was his diagnosis of the human condition. Just try to imagine it. You're chained your entire life, forced to watch shadows dance on a wall, and you believe that's all there is. Then someone drags you out of the cave into a blinding, painful light. At first it's agonizing, but eventually your eyes adjust and you see the truth. The shadows were a lie. So you go back to free the others, but when you tell them their whole world is fake, they don't believe you. They attack you. They call you insane. They might even kill you, just like they killed Socrates. You see, the cave isn't just a nice story about enlightenment. It's a political problem. And Plato, being an architect of ideas, designed a terrifying solution. This is the question that drove the rest of his work. I mean, if the masses are chained up in a cave, happy with their shadows, you can't have a democracy, can you? You can't just let them vote. No, you need someone who has actually seen the sun. And there it is, his conclusion. The only people fit to rule are philosophers, the ones who have escaped the cave. Not elected officials, not powerful generals, but philosopher kings. Rulers who possess actual true knowledge. So he drew up a blueprint for a perfect society, and it's this rigid, three-tiered state. At the very top you have the rulers, guided by pure reason. Below them, the auxiliaries, the soldiers, driven by spirit. And at the bottom, the producers, all the workers driven by appetite. And here's the thing, there's no social mobility. Justice in this world means you are born into your role and you do your job and you never, ever question it. And to make sure these rulers would stay pure, Plato basically stripped them of their humanity. They can't own any property, they can't have families, their loyalty isn't to a husband or a wife or a child, but only to the state. They become these instruments of abstract justice, completely freed from the messy, imperfect bonds of human connection. Now, you might be thinking, okay, this is just some ancient political theory. It's not. It's a timeless, and frankly, a dangerous question about power and perception. Plato's idea is that reality can be bent, that the masses are living in an illusion, and that a small, enlightened few should lead them out of it. That's a blueprint. It's a blueprint that has been used by architects of control for centuries. It is a warning about the seductive danger of believing you alone hold the truth. So let's bring this right back to you. His ideas force us to ask some really unsettling questions. Who is projecting the shadows on your wall right now? Who benefits from you believing those illusions are real?
And maybe an even harder question. What comforting lies are you clinging to? What shadows have you mistaken for the truth for your entire life?
Because the final, haunting thought here isn't really a question. It's a conclusion that echoes all the way from Socrates' trial right to today. When someone tries to show you the blinding sun, you don't thank them. You call them a madman. You fight to stay in the dark.